They reveled in the disrespect, treating you like something less, something disposable. You were there to be used, to be discarded when they saw fit, and they enjoyed every moment of holding that supposed power over you. But look where that's led them. They're now in the very place they once pushed you into, looking up, hoping for even a scrap of respect. Isn't that ironic? They took pleasure in devaluing you, savoring each glance, sneer, and calculated word meant to make you feel small, to remind you of their power. They thought they could chip away at your self-worth piece by piece, and that you'd never notice. They never considered that maybe, just maybe, you'd rise from it, head held high, while they'd be left amidst the ruins of their own arrogance. Now the tables have turned, and they feel the sting of their own cruel games. It's a bitter taste, isn't it? They once held the upper hand, wielding it with reckless pride, thinking they could diminish your spirit until you'd simply disappear. But every insult, every cold look, every whisper they cast behind your back only strengthened you. Now they're on the receiving end, being looked down upon, dismissed, and judged. And they can't bear it. They're realizing with a dawning horror that the respect they so casually stripped from you wasn't theirs to throw away. Because respect isn't taken, it's earned. They treated you as if you were disposable, assuming you'd always be there to absorb their poison. But people, even the kindest souls, have their limits. You reached yours and walked away, leaving them to their games, their manipulations. And now they sit alone, wondering why no one's left to stand by them, why no one's there to play along. They never imagined they'd face the same treatment they once dished out. Yet here they are, lost in a sea of rejection, trying to figure out where it all went wrong. Once they could command a room with a look, exuding a power they thought would never wane. But disrespect is a dangerous game. It has a way of turning on you when you least expect it. The pride they wore like a crown is hollow now, empty of substance, and every slight, every rejection they face serves as a painful reminder that true respect cannot be forced, it's earned. They laughed at you, dismissed you as if you were nothing. Now, they're the ones who are laughed at, the ones no one takes seriously. They're asking themselves what it feels like to be on the other side, looking in, seeing their past actions reflected back at them. Their former pride gnaws at them, tearing away the image they once held of themselves. The pedestal they placed themselves upon was built on the backs of those they mistreated, and now, with it crumbling, there's no one left to hold them up. They spent so long tearing others down that they never noticed they were isolating themselves, severing connections that once gave them a sense of worth. They thought fear equaled respect, that being above reproach meant they were untouchable. But that's not how real respect works. It's not about putting others down, it's about lifting others up, seeing the humanity in those around you. They missed that lesson, and now they're paying the price. The only people left in their lives are those who mirror their disdain. They wanted to be untouchable, beyond the consequences of their actions, but respect has a way of balancing the scales. Now, every cold shoulder they meet, every act of disregard, reminds them of what they've done. They're haunted, not just by what they did to you, but by the reflection of who they've become. In every interaction, they feel the icy detachment they once showed you, and it's suffocating. They can't escape it. Every dismissive glance, every slight is a mirror showing them what they were, and they hate what they see. Because deep down they know this is the life they created, the respect they threw away, the empathy they withheld. Alone with their thoughts, they're forced to see the damage they've caused, not just to others, but to themselves. They've become the person people avoid, the one no one admires or respects. And that emptiness? It's the weight of every bridge they burned, every moment of kindness they overlooked. Now they're left with a world that reflects their own actions, a cold reality that shows them what they gave to others. And in that reality they find nothing but emptiness, a hollow existence filled only with the echoes of the respect they once demanded but never earned. It's a lesson, learned too late, cutting deeper than they could have imagined. And now, as they sit in the ruins of their own pride, they're finally beginning to understand just what respect truly means and how much it costs when you let it slip away. Now they search desperately for the warmth they never offered, the kindness they once shrugged off. They want a second chance, but all they find is coldness, a reflection of the very attitude they cultivated. Every interaction feels like a painful reminder, a ghost of every cruel word they spoke, every person they dismissed, and every chance at compassion they tossed aside. They're haunted, not just by others' rejection, but by the realization that they have become the very person they once despised, the kind of person they told themselves they'd never be. There's a certain irony in it, isn't there? All their life they tried to stay untouchable, placing themselves above reproach, above the consequences. They believed respect could be forced, taken by strength, and sustained by fear. But now they see the bitter truth: real power isn't built on the pain of others. And the respect they're so desperate for isn't something they can demand. It's earned, and it's too late for that now. They replay every moment in their mind, every choice that led them here, but there's no escaping the truth. They built their world on control, on pride, on the satisfaction of being untouchable. And in doing so, they destroyed every bridge, every bond that could have anchored them when the tides turned. Now, they're alone with only themselves for company. The empty silence rings louder than applause ever did, reminding them of the hollow pedestal they once stood upon. This isolation, it's not just a punishment, it's a reality check. They see now that the admiration they craved can't be found in fear, that the loyalty they took for granted can't be demanded. And the more they try to find what they lost, the more the emptiness stretches around them, a vast, unyielding void of their own making. Every bitter memory, every regret is a weight they carry, reminder of the life they built, a life that no longer holds anything of value. In those quiet moments, they're left with nothing but the truth that all the power they thought they held was an illusion, a mirage built on the backs of people they never truly saw. And now, as they sift through the broken pieces of their pride, they're forced to confront the reality they once refused to believe: that respect, loyalty, and admiration cannot be taken, they must be earned. And that empty feeling, that unbearable ache, it's the weight of a life lived without regard for others, a life where respect was demanded but never reciprocated. They've spent so long looking down on everyone else, but now they're the ones left looking up, hoping for mercy, for understanding, for even a fraction of the respect they once withheld so easily. And as the world moves on without them, they begin to understand what they never did before: that true power comes from humility, true respect from kindness, and real strength from the courage to lift others up. But now, stripped of the power they once clung to, they're left with a simple, undeniable truth. They are alone, not because the world turned on them, but because they turned on the world, one cruel word, one cold glance, one missed chance at kindness at a time. And in the end, that's their legacy, a life defined not by what they built, but by what they destroyed. And no matter how hard they try to rebuild, the foundation they once relied on is gone, lost in the shadows of their own choices. They'll move through this world as just another face in the crowd, unremarkable, unremembered, carrying the weight of every bridge they burned and every moment of respect they threw away. And in that lonely realization, they'll finally understand the true cost of their actions. It's a lesson learned too late, an emptiness they'll carry forever,